Okay, so I sure as heck hope the wind doesn't destroy this video quality, including my breathlessness. But this is how it's happening. So I have been doing my fitness competitions as usual. This is kind of a hilarious broken record at this point, and I don't care. It's fine. I mean, I kind of care, but I don't care not very much. I just, I'm like, oh, okay, gotta break out the big guns. But, so, I started a little softer to see what I could get away with. Softer meaning more calories. Then I thought, and I'm like, yeah, this might not work, but I might as well try for my competitions. There's a little regret because it's like, the chances of winning are cut way down. But on the same note, they're not cut completely down because you can do some pretty amazing things. It's just, I'm not gonna ramble about it, but it's more for me anyway. It truly is. Now, body's not budging. It is not budging at all. So, I am maintaining, and I'm supposed to be getting absolutely ripped to shreds. So now I go to the plan that I have had in my head already. And now I'm like, okay, time to whip out that plan. Now, the plan in full, I'm doing this a little different so that my rambling, which will already be plenty as it already is, but will not go on. And yes, you'll have to read a little bit in the description of this video to know all the full details if you're curious. But I actually thought about this at the beginning of the year and just have sat on it, thinking about it. And there's a Thomas DELAUER inspired extreme get ripped plan, where I watched videos on all his tips that he said you can do to get like in the most shredded shape of your life, or whatever. And it's not easy, but that's okay, because part of the reason I want to do big things like that is for mental growth and building the mental toughness that I need. Yes, I've taken baby steps on my mental toughness since I've talked about it last, but still haven't leaped that super far. I have taken steps, but once again, a little bit tentative. This is a big move to go for what is called an epic win. It sounds dorky and kind of nerdy, but it's really what it is. It's more than just a challenge it's more than about getting super cut. It's about expanding and growing past fears and building self-belief or self-efficacy, and building strength and mental strength and all those things that I deeply need in my life. And I have gone down that hole before in videos, but I'm just re-emphasizing that big challenges, I can get these results a lot slower and a lot, it can be done a different way than this, but this is about something much bigger than that. So I'm doing these cutting tips that Thomas DELAUER laid out. He has a certain set of videos that I collected them from, and leaving some of the things out that he said. Like, I don't want to follow certain supplements that he talks about taking. Even he says they're pretty big supplements. Like, they're strong. And he warns about that too. He obviously believes you can take them safely if you are careful, depending on who you are and how you do it. But I'm not going to do that stuff. So what I'm going to tell you in the comments, I'm going to talk to you more about it. And in my blog post, in my post section of my YouTube channel, I am still working, have not done perfect either at that, because it's one thing to say you're going to make a 180 change and actually try, which I have. But if you've been struggling, you still kind of struggle up and down. Sometimes you can't just flip that switch. But that blog post, or the blog post that I have up with the AI picture of the lady on the mountain with flowers, that talks about who I'm gonna try to be, or who I'm gonna be for the rest of the year, and what I'm gonna do. I'm going right in to keeping on trying that, and with even more strength and more commitment. I have done bouts of it and still struggle a little, but I don't want to struggle with that anymore. So I'm gonna keep trying to be like, just like refocusing that arrow as tight as I can to be, just execute all of it right, so that I can say, okay, I did this for this many months and this is what happened, and it can be credible. I can be credible about what happened following that way of living. So anyway, I think it's time to slow my video down now because I'm rambling again. But I will also link the videos, the Thomas DELAUER videos, in the description. So it's going to be, so my fitness challenges were 90 days, or well, no, actually, no, they were shorter actually. But so this will be, Thomas DELAUER plan is at least a month as far as, but this is like, I'm going for that like 90 day window to be like, I'm gonna get in the best, leanest shape of my life within 90 days. That's kind of the focus. I will start with the Thomas DELAUER stuff for that solid month. Unless I have some slip up days, then I'll extend it so that it actually is like a month. And then I'll recalibrate on where I'm going, but I will follow the end of the year tips that I put on that post to the end of the year. So come with me if you're interested. Like these videos, it helps me, and it'll give me more motivation to make better videos and not just little rambles here and there. And like these videos, subscribe to my channel, help me get some enthusiasm towards this a little better, and down the road maybe workout videos, something bigger. But yeah, let's just see what happens. And even though I was trying to keep it short, another part of this 90-day thing that is part of the fitness challenges that I signed up for, but obviously not just part of them because it's going to go well beyond them, is I am going to work on doing the 75 game again. Oh, that's a video too, if you want to know what that is. And honestly, I think it's pretty great. And I think it's it's inspired by 75 hard, but it's by no means 75 hard, because it's not. It's inspired by it. And I know a lot of people do inspired things that are inspired by 75 hard, but this is an approach that I kind of threw together, and I think it's my favorite of them all. And anyway, it allows for a little bit of a breathing room if you screw up, but also you don't want to screw up, so you don't want to, there's that good pressure if I don't want to though. You know, I want to do the best I can. Anyway, I'm going to do that. Please, if anyone wants to join me on that, tell me. I'm sure no one, at least while I'm this teeny channel, will maybe even want to do that. But tell me and we can support each other. But, so it's like a variation on that and 75 hard. And I am going to work on that. I haven't been doing that. I haven't been doing any of that stuff. I'm training quite a bit, quite consistently, but definitely not pushing at that level. So that is a part of this for at least, the 75 days, which it will be 90 days because it's a 90-day challenge for me. So technically it's the 90-day game. Anyway, yeah. The only thing that's changed too, as far as like the post that I made about the goal rules I was going to follow to the end of the year, is sometimes you make tweaks, and if you make tweaks and they feel very authentic, then they're okay. But you need to make sure they're not emotional, cop out. Like, you need to feel like you're coming still from a strong, smart place, and that's why you're making the changes. And it's very minimal. The only thing I'm going to do different is when I feel like I am literally so tired of just carnivore that I feel like I'm going to literally blow the diet and call it quits. I hope someday I never feel like that, but I do get that way sometimes still a little, even though I love what carnivore does for my mind and body and my... So that's why I keep pushing with it, because it's amazing. So I've been trying to find this middle ground though, so that I don't like just go way off the wagon because I'm just getting a little bit bored. And that's okay, because it's still 90% carnivore. But if I feel that way, and it's got to be strong, like, oh, I can't, and I need something else right now, I'm going to add fruits and vegetables. But it'll just be here and there, and if it just feels like it's needed to just kind of, you know, and there's a lot of people, I feel pretty aligned with the health of that way of eating, to be honest. I go for the carnivore because of the ketones. I do think that's, the veggies and fruit are beyond healthy though. And I'm doing a lot of my fasting. So I'll have my ketones up anyway. But I will try to be very realistic about how much of that I did by the end of the year and stuff. And as far as everyone's wondering that doesn't know a lot about carnivore diet, probably like, well, fruits and vegetables, why are you just going to eat only meat? You know, if you do carnivore right, you know, you get all the benefits, or you can get all the vitamins that you need, that you get from fruits and vegetables. This is why some people definitely thrive, because you can do that. You just vary your meats, do the right amounts and kinds, and honestly, ground beef is so healthy, and it's like, even Thomas DELAUER, who we were talking about, says this. Ground beef is kind of like meat multivitamin. So even when people eat mostly ground beef, they're getting almost, just all that, they're getting what they need almost completely. Adding in liver here and there is good. Eggs, fish, just all the stuff. Anyway, now I'm done. Gosh, there's just too much to talk about. Like, it's hard to keep it short. Gotta finish my run though. Gotta finish my run.